Selfishly speaking, I'm just happy that for the first time in 6 years, Taker will be in the main event scene of WrestleMania. And no better place than in his native Texas. You know?
Yeah.
If this is his last match, who knows? At this point, I think after the work that he's shown at Hell in a Cell, Survivor Series, the guy is in as great a shape as he has been since he was a full-timer 5-6 years ago. They could easily get another year out of him, especially if they really want to do Cena Taker, a match that, again, I selfishly really, really want to see. I would love to see that at WrestleMania 33. Especially if we're there in Florida, if they hold it there. But that's another topic for another day. But in terms of Taker in the main event of WrestleMania this year, I would love to see it. I think it's a lot better than doing Roman Reigns in the main event again. He hasn't been in the main event since WrestleMania 26, when he had the match of the year, in my personal opinion, the greatest WrestleMania main event of all time versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 26. So I'm looking forward to that, but I absolutely agree with you guys. And the match order is imperative at WrestleMania 32.
Especially if, say that they do Roman Reigns and Triple H last, and Roman Reigns wins, they're going to boo him out of the building. They're cheering Triple H all the night in a row. They're not going to cheer for Roman Reigns. So even though Seth Rollins won, they still cheered the finish because it was amazing.
Well, at the same time, I mean, I told you last year, I'm figuring, okay, Roman Reigns wins, LOL. Just because I say that, because at WrestleMania 29, that did not deter them from having John Cena go the predictable route, winning the championship, hugging The Rock. I left that WrestleMania I mean, I know you like that WrestleMania, but I mean, for me, I was like, wow,
Again,
I don't care what's next.
Their weird penchant for respect and friendship.
That was kind of weird.
Tantamount storytelling trope, you know.
It didn't send the crowd, quote unquote, home happy. You
know
what I mean?
It's better than them booing him out of the building like they would probably do at Dallas if Roman Reigns won. No one's really got behind him. And I don't know what they have seen. Well,
same thing happened with The Rock, and now I'm seeing the parallel even stronger.
Yes.
And I'm feeling like they're starting to understand the parallel even stronger, and they were hoping that, you know, the shadow of The Rock would not be the same way for Roman Reigns, and they could get him over in a different way. And certainly Roman has that ability, right? But he also has this, mentality of presenting himself or just appearing to the audience as being above them, as being someone that gets a ton of privilege, that someone gets a ton of opportunity over other people because he's getting the push and all of these other inside terms that, you know, who cares about. The fact of the matter is that he is getting a reaction, and that reaction can turn into something really powerful. And we saw it with The Rock almost in the same exact way. People hated The Rock's guts. You know, die, Rocky, die. I mean, and you even hear it from The Rock in candid interviews. That stuff got to him at its core, and he had to do something with it. And I think when you're at this level on a national stage going into one of the top 5 sporting events around the world that airs every year, Roman Reigns being placed in a title match certainly is going to put a lot on the line for him as a character, him personally, as a performer, and as a wrestler. And I think that he needs to put in the performance of a lifetime and still get booed out of the building. He needs to do everything perfect from here forward, and I think that he will start to win people over in the same way The Rock did. The Rock became absolutely electric in his career. So I expect to see good things out of Roman Reigns because through adversity comes triumph.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think them pushing him so much, it's just what's deterring fans from liking him. Won the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row. He's been in the title scene a lot.
Almost won the Rumble 2 years in a row.
Yeah, almost won the Rumble 2 years in a row. But still, it's not like they kind of giving him the underdog kind of vibe, but he's one of the bigger guys on the roster.
Exactly.
They have him versus the League of Nations all the time in 4-1 handicap matches. Wins every time. It's not like it's some small guy oh my god, he probably won't win. He's bigger than everyone. He's stronger than everyone. Besides Lesnar, he's the biggest, strongest guy on the roster.
The Daniel Bryan formula does
not work for him.
It's not. No. He's not Daniel Bryan.
And think of Fastlane last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think also if he kind of split away from the whole Shield kind of Roman Reigns, I think people would establish his own person. I think people would get behind him more.
I agree.
Yeah. No, he had a little bit of that coming out of NXT, where he was definitely riding that high trending, suit wearing, I'm better than you kind of mentality as a character. And that's probably the closer to the Roman Reigns that we all see than the tactical vest wearing Superman, I think that I got a lot of respect for Roman. I got a lot of respect for Triple H going into that match. And now I'm excited because I truly don't know what's going to happen with Roman Reigns. How he'll fit into everything going forward.
Leading into the end of Raw here, like I said, I'm looking forward to this match, and I'd be hypocritical if I said I wasn't. This match has been in the works for 2 years. I love Dean Ambrose, like we said before, Lesnar and Triple H. We've seen that match one too many times. I do not want to see it again. Ambrose, as awesome as it would have been if he won on Sunday, it wouldn't have made any sense. Dean Ambrose, don't get me wrong, is also an enemy of the Authority, but not nearly as big as Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan have been. They are the two biggest, number one, probably neck and neck, for biggest enemies of the Authority. So it makes sense for Roman Reigns to face Triple H at Mania. We talked about this months ago, Tom. It's a match I really wanted to see at Mania dating back years ago, dating back to 2014. But I just don't think it needs to be for the championship. But with the story they're telling, it kind of makes sense at this point. They've closed out the last 4 pay-per-views. Let's go back to Survivor Series. When Roman Reigns won the belt, Triple H came out, he speared him, Sheamus cashed in, TLC, we were there, beat the crap out of Triple H, Roman Reigns did. Royal Rumble, he beats him for the belt. Fastlane, that closed out the show, like a press conference in like way. But these guys have been WWE programming, so it makes sense to do the match at Mania. Why I'm saying, people think it's predictable, it's really not at this point. But I'm saying I'm excited for it just because based off what we saw on Monday night, these guys, I feel like, can have a very hard-hitting affair. That brief brawl that we got for maybe 2 or 3 minutes where he, quote-unquote, broke his nose, it was a great angle. Like, they zoomed in on Reigns, and I know all these reports are coming out that WWE might be more edgier going into WrestleMania, which I think is cool. That kind of already happens every road to WrestleMania, but they focused in on the blood. They didn't, try to shy away from it because that was intentional to do the blood. You don't see that anymore, and it's cool. Like, I like having that kind of thing with blood being banned.
And that's what you could do in that third hour.
Exactly.
Like you have built up your whole evening towards something like pivotal that's going to set something going forward. And I'm going to be curious to see if he even shows up at SmackDown tonight. What kind of response is he going to get, knowing everything that goes around this broken nose right now, and him posting a picture of his broken nose and the air quotes are raining down in here. But I still feel like it's going to give him that edge that's going to give the show that edge of unpredictability. And it's examples like that really set the tone for what this WrestleMania could be. And if we have a Hell in a Cell involved at WrestleMania, this is definitely setting a tone of what we might be building up to see and preparing us to see something like that.